Hello everyone, this is Venugopal. Today we'll see classes and objects in Python. So today's our topic is classes and objects. Now first of all, let us understand what exactly mean by class. Now what is class? A class is a user defined data type. User defined data type. That means what exactly why we use class? This is an logical entity. Logical entity means what? Like a blueprint. Okay, and what exactly this classes contains? This class contains data and functions. Now data means a declaration of some variables and function means the business logic, whatever we want to write inside the class. Now what exactly mean by object? Now once you have declared a class, class is a just like class is what? It's a logical entity. Whereas this object is a physical entity. Physical entity means what? The entity that you can, feel, you can touch, you can see. That is called as a physical entity. Like example, table, fan, person. That entity which have some properties, some data, right? Which can feel in real life. So it's also called as it is an real-time entity. Real-time entity that existing in the real world. Now what is exactly this object? Object has some behavior. Okay, once you declare the class, we can create or you can create a number of objects of the same class. For example, if I am taking an example, like for example, is an car is a class. If car is a class, then I can create a number of objects like Hyundai is a car. Okay, for example, Maruti is a car, BMW is a car, right? So these all are what? These are etc. These all are what? These all are the objects of this class called as what? Car. Similarly, for example, if I'm defining one fruit as a class, fruit is a class, consider as a fruit is a class. So what are the objects of this fruit? For example, banana, chiku, right? Apple, etc. So these all are what? These all are the objects of the class. That means once you have defined a class, then you can create a multiple object of the same class. Okay, so quickly we'll see what exactly mean by class. A class is a user defined class or user defined data type. It is a type of data type only, whereas it is called as a logical entity, where we write all the business logic inside a class, because a class contains what? Data and functions. Okay, and it is acts like what? Blueprint. It acts like a blueprint. Okay, whereas object is what? It is a physical entity like table, fan, person, right? Whatever it may be, the physical entity that you can touch, feel, which has a behavior, right? That all things are called as objects. It is a real-time entity. Whenever you declare a class, then you can create a number of objects. We have taken the example like if a car is a class, then this Hyundai, Maruti, BMW, these all are belongs to the, these all are the objects of the class is car. Similarly, we have seen the example for the what? Fruit class. Okay, now how to declare a class? Syntax. Very simple. We need to use the keyword class. Let me increase the font. Class is a keyword, and then you need to write a class name. Very simple keyword. And inside this, if you have a body, you can write down, or else if you don't want to write, you can simply write a keyword pass. Right? You can create multiple classes. Class, another class name, colon, and after that, if any body is there, you have to write that body, like print, for example, print anything, print hello, or some functions. You can declare functions also here. Okay. And after declaration of this classes, right, we need to create the object of the class. So what is the syntax of creating object? Syntax of object creation. It's very simple. Simply we need to write the object name, right? And here we have to write what? Class name. If this class has a parameters, you can simply pass the arguments while creating the object of the class. And after this creating the object of the class, by using this object name, you can call the functions. For example, here we have function. So you can call by using the object name dot that function, right? Anyway, we are going to see one simple program to better understand what the class and objects is. Now, currently we are working with the 3.x version, Python 3.x version. Okay, so in 3.x versions, all the classes, we have seen the different syntaxes, right? This is one syntax, this is second syntax, one more syntax is there. Class, for example, I'm writing one class name. This class is deriving from the object class. Okay, and pass. This is third way of declaring a class. The first way is what? Simply I'm declaring a class name, no parenthesis. Second one is you can put here a parenthesis like this. Okay, after class name, you can put a parenthesis. And the third way is what? Class name, inside this I am writing like object. That means what? This class name is deriving from the object class. Okay, so in Python 3.x version, all the classes are derived by default. They are derived from what? The root class, that is called as a object class. Object class. So all classes, whatever we are writing, user defined classes, these all classes are by default, they are the child class of the object class. Okay, to check this program, right, we'll write one program using PyCharm editor. You can use any of the editors, right? So class, for example, taking one class like a table colon, and here pass, because I don't want to write any definition. So in Python, you have a provision to skip the code of any particular class. If you don't want to write any logic, okay, fine, no issue. But simply you need to put a keyword like a pass. After that, I'm declaring one more class with the name of what? Table, for example, 2. This is table 1, right? And here I'm putting parenthesis, right? The second way of declaring the class. And the third one is class, one more class. Inside this, I'll derive this class from object class. And here also I'll write what? Pass. Now to check whether these classes are, like I said, in 3.x versions, these all classes are deriving from the root class, that is called as an object. But here I have not mentioned any object class, right? Here also I am not, because these are the two different syntaxes. And the third one, you can clearly observe that this table class, sorry, this table 3 class is inheriting from the object class. Okay, so to check with whether really they are inheriting from the object class or not, we have one function called as is subclass. Is subclass of table 1, is it derived from the object class? This is the syntax to check whether the classes are deriving from the object class or not. This is table 1, this is table 2, and this one is table 3. Right? Now, if I'll run this program, you can observe this. It is returning what? True. That means what? Even though this first syntax is different, nowhere we have mentioned that this table 1 class is deriving from the object class. Still, this table 1 is a subclass of what? object class. How we can come to know? Because it is returning what? True in the output. Similarly for second class, and obviously for the third class, it is written over there. Okay, if I'll type the same code in some previous version, let us go to the Google. This is my code, and suppose I'm typing like Python online compiler. Let us take 2.7 version. In the 2.7 version, if I click on this first one, and I've copied already this one, right? Table 1, table 2, I copied. Okay, if I'll execute this, now this is the interpreter of what? Python 2.7 version. And I am, see here, you can observe this is a 2.7 version. If I'll execute the same code, okay, we'll find the output here, and see the first two lines, it is returning what? It is returning false, and the next one is what? It is returning true. That means what? In the previous versions, right, up to 2.7, right, these two classes are not deriving from the object class, but from the 3.x version, these classes are deriving from the, by default every class is derived, right, from the object class, right? So just I wanted to show the practically. So this is a very basic fundamental program by how you are going to declare the classes. Now let us take one more example where we can see how to declare a function in a class. Okay, so we have seen the syntax of declaring the object also in just in our theory discussion. Now what I'll do, I'll declare one class name as a person, and inside this I want to declare one function. So to declare one function, we have to use a keyword def. Inside this, I'll create one function like show. The moment I click this parenthesis, automatically the self keyword is attached. Now the self keyword is means what? The self itself, it is saying that the show function is belongs to this person class. That is the reason why we have to mandatorily mention the self keyword. Inside this, simply I'll print one message like hello. It's a normal message. One more function I'll define, suppose display. Inside this, self is automatically, it will automatically incorporated in this PyCharm. Otherwise, if you're using a normal editor like Edit Plus or Notepad plus plus, you have to write manually. Okay, because this is what the benefit of IDE when you're using. The inbuiltly it will add, it will reduce half of the code, right? No, you no need to write manually every time. It will automatically include the code wherever it necessary. Okay, so comma, I'll take one argument. So user defined argument. Okay, that means this function is taking one argument. Okay, now here simply I'll print one more message like hi, comma, I just want to print the name, right? Now this is all about what? I have declared one class. The name of the class is person, and then I have declared two functions. In the first function, I'm not passing any argument, but then the second function, I'm passing one argument, that is name. Okay, so the class is ready, right? The class is a logical entity. That's the reason why I have written all the logic inside this. And here we'll create the object. Now, whenever I'm saying this object, for example, I'll simply create a P. The P is means what? It is an object which is a physical entity. Now, physical entity means what? Physical entities always deal with the memory. That means whenever I'll create the object of that particular class, all the functions, all the variables, they will get a memory allocations. Okay. Now, what is the syntax of creating the object? Object name, that is my P in this case, and the class name is what? Person. Okay. So after the object creation, I'll call the first function, that is show. The show is not taking any argument, but in the second function, that is this, is taking one argument. So I need to pass mandatorily one name. For example, I'll pass here like Vijay. That's it. Okay, so we'll try to understand this program once again. I've declared one class. Okay, inside the class, I've declared two functions. Okay, the one function is show, which is not taking an argument, and the second function is display, which is taking one argument. Okay, here I'm creating the object creation. This is called as a object creation. Okay, my object name is P. This is my class, right? Followed by parenthesis months, it is a constructor. Okay, now P dot show, it will call this function, and P dot display, that means it will call the second function by passing the argument, right? If I want to execute, simply either you right click on this and run classes my module, or else you can directly click on this run button. If I'll click on this, you will find out hello and hi Vijay. The output is coming. So it's very simple, which demonstrate the use of classes and objects. Also in this program, we have seen how to declare a function within the class. So that's it for this video. We will come up with some more videos. Till then, keep watching. Bye bye.